All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's class. So, we'll be looking at a topic we've been trying to work on, variables. So, after today's class, we should be able to master the act of using variable. So, so let's see. What we will learn today is how to manage design variables easily and how to switch between themes using variables and how to implement light and dark modes and how to make your design fully responsive. All right, so if we have time, we are going to solve these problems in today's class. So let's jump right into it. So for the purpose of this class, I have to create a new file entirely for this class. I didn't want us to use a file we've used before, so I just needed us to learn from the scratch. All right, so let's see. First of all, we said how to manage design system easily. So we are going to start with color. If you look at the file here, I don't have any color for now. I'm not going to bring in, let's say I am designing I'm starting a new project. Okay, so there is no design system that exists anyway. All right, so and I want to use variables for this. So but first of all, I need I need I need a color. So can someone, I didn't just want to choose any color. I need a primary color. I need two primary color, well, a secondary color that can complement the two colors. And also, yes, I just need those two things. A quick person, can someone just give me that? Let's see. Is there anybody? Let's see. Uh, good. Blue. Ah, why every time blue? Okay, so blue. Okay, so this is going to be our primary color, right? Okay, blue. I need another color. Purple. Blue and purple. Okay, so those are two primary colors. So what color can complement blue and purple? Yellow, 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 yellow. You don't. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, let's bring in shall we let's bring in let's say, so what's, let's say, okay, let's start first. So what's the color code for the blue? Let's say, let's use something like this. Okay, so this is a Tailwind CSS color generator. This I'm using a free version. So if it was a pro version, creating variables would have been just made easy. Okay, would have just click on create variables and it would have done the needful for us. But well, since this is a free version, um, orange for the primary or secondary.
Secondary.
Okay, so let's see. So blue, this is our blue color code for blue. So let's use this. So I'm just going to, I want to start everything from scratch. So today's class will be a little longer. All right, so let's just follow. I will take it as So the name of the plugin is Tailwind CSS Color Generator. Okay, Tailwind. So it's developers plugin, but well, it was made available for designers too. It's for the UI, it's for UI. So it's a UI plugin owned by Tailwind. All right, so we'll be looking at I didn't want to create anything. I want us to follow it step by step. I'm going to be having this class as if I'm teaching primary six. Okay, so let's follow it. It's because if it was on style guide, I would have set it up and then we'll pick it up from there. But let's look at it. All right, so we are going to I'm just going to drop this by the side. Let me see if I can reduce this. Can I? No. So I'm just going to drop it by the side, and then I'm going to click on variables, and we will start creating our variable. So creating variable, we are creating color variable. So I believe we all know this. So I'm going to call this blue. I'm going to call this blue. So I'm trying to see how to, let me shift it to all this color. I need the color code. So I'm going to call this blue. Let me elapse this. Okay, blue mid slash blue 100. So we start with blue 50. All right, so here we are. So I'm just going to duplicate this. Then let's see. Okay, now this is our main, which is going to be 500. So I think this is always 700, the main primary. I'm going to let me name this main. Let me name this main. Just going to name this main. So this is going to our blue 50. Our blue 100. So please let's follow. 200. Going to be fast a little because of 300. 400. So I'm not going to take all because of time, or 400, that's 500, 600. Let's see. 50, 400, 200. Uh, since this is named blue already, I don't think we need a blue already. So let's just name this like this. It'll be easier. So 200, 300, 400, 600, 700, 800. Okay, so I'm just going to duplicate this again, 900, and think 950. 900, and then 950. So I think what I will do is, I might bring in, because of time, I will have just do for the red and the rest. But I might just bring in a color from way 700. 700 is our main color. So, yep. So we don't need this again. So I'm just going to delete this and then rename this to 700, 800, then 900, or 850. Let's say 850. gap. So we have our first color. So the second color that was suggested was let's see, purple. Okay, so purple. Please, at any point you have a question, please do well too, because I'll be fast in this first stage. So I'm just going to create a new variable again. Nope, not a new variable. So I'm just going to bring this out, then just going to duplicate this. Okay, I'm going to duplicate the group and then call it what's the color? Purple, right? Purple. You get to know the reason why I am bringing this way. So our color code for purple, that should be 8, let's say 8b 5 cf 6, right? Yes. So this is our color code for purple. All right. So I'm going to look at, I think, okay, this is giving me 500. Okay, so let's edit it. So our main, this is our main purple. I'm just going to pick this up and then edit it. Excuse me. 50, 100, 200. Okay, I think we might just basically go with this section yet for now. 200, 300, 400, 500 is our distance. So this is now going to be our 500, right? Then this will now be 600. Let's scroll down. 700. 800. And we have this. All right. So any question? Any question? Think. So let's see. Just going to close this up. So have been easier if I think I tried seeing how to bypass this, but it was not possible. Before now, using this, it's when I think early this year. So this was working. So you could actually just copy or create variables from this. All right. So okay, I'm just going to close this, and then let me see how easy or how. Yeah, I can get this up. So I'm just going to go back to our primary time just for an easy. Just going to paste it here. Just need. Okay, so okay, so we said, oh, I think I need another color for this. We talked about a secondary color for this, but we will not call them secondary for now. So you will know the reason why as we proceed. So the secondary color we said orange, right? So orange. So what's the color code for orange? I think let's see. Let me bring back the plugin. Okay, thank you, Vera. I think that will be easier, I think. Was that not popular use? Okay. Are you sure? It's not giving me purple logo. Or is it my on my laptop side?
Um, are
Because
you are you trying to get purple, or I thought you said color code for orange?
oh, is it orange we're looking? Oh, that's true. My bad. Yeah, yes, orange. Thank you. Okay, so for the main, so this is going to be our main. This will be our 50. Our main here is 500. Okay, so when reach the skip, so 300, 400, 500, 600, seven hundred, 800, and then that's it. Okay, so let's just use this because of what we want to do. All right, so let's stop there. Maybe if we need other, I might just come there and just rush and then create it. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to create I call it a midpoint, a third man. So what I mean by that is this is now going to be where we will now say, oh yes, we'll now call our color, we'll give it a name. So what I mean by that is, so here we are going to create a new collection. So let's call this, let's rename this collection one to brand. And then I will create a new collection, which I'm going to call alias. All right. So before now, it would have been easier for us to move because instead of creating this again from scratch, speaking of which, that's true. So instead of creating this from scratch, I would have just come back to brand, then click here and then copy it, then come back to this and then press it. But it's not working. I don't know if it's not working again. So with this, we are going to use a plugin. So we are going to use a plugin called Variables Pro. So swap, import, and export variables. Variables Pro. So that's what we are going to use. So we are going to export this variable. Okay. Let me see. Let me reduce this. So we are going to export this variable. So I'm going to use export. We are exporting. So the variables that have been created, we have seen the alias and then brand, but we have no variables in brand. Sorry, in alias. We only have it in brand. So I'm just going to uncheck this, and then I'm going to export. So it's going to be a JSON file, which I'm going to save. Okay, so I'm just going to edit this. I'm just going to say new file. New file. All right. Then the next thing we do is we import. So importing, I'll upload and then I'll click on new file, which I will export, and then it will now say select collection and import them with their variables in the current file. So I'm going to say import. All right, any question? So what I'm trying to do now is to duplicate the collection, all right? Is to duplicate the collection. So that's what I'm doing now. So if we come here, we are going to see that we have two brands here. All right, we have two brands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete this. And then I'm going to pick one of them. So this is it. So what is, okay. So I'm just going to pick one of them, which is going to be this other one, and then rename it to, the other collection name I needed for it. Please, if you have any question, you can ask. So over here, the reason why I am taking this procedure is I want to create, I want to use this variable such that, I can actually manage it very well. And also easily use it for, I can easily use it to switch different themes. And also I can use it to switch from light mode to dark mode easily. Okay. So if you have any question, or are we following? Let me get a response from that first before I proceed. Are we following? Okay, thank you, goodness, and Zinab. All right. So I think I just remembered. So I'm going to use that plugin again to bring in a file. Thank you. To bring in a file that I already exported, I'm just going to import it just because it's going to save time. Just going to import it. Then I'm going to import it as a brand one, right? Yep. Okay, so I'm going to close it. Then I'll just give me a moment. Let me readjust it. I'm going to, yeah. So I need this gray color. I don't need this purple again. Do I? Just going to delete this group. Then red. Yep. Then blue. No. Then it is red, gray color, yellow, and green. So I think let me see how to move this down here. This is going to be serious issue. I think I would have created this in the other file. Let me see. And this do the work for me. Let's see. Okay, so just give me a moment. Let me fix this. I think I messed up somewhere. Just going to I resume open. Okay, so for the gray, let me see how to. ah. So our main for gray is going to be white, which I'm going to call it white. So okay, so let's look at our color code. We need this now. It's going to be quite easier this way. And so okay, so call this white, then our 50, our 100, 200. Three hundred. 5. Oops. Copy 600. 700. All is 800. Then this, excuse me, this is going to be our 850. Then I'll need a last one, which I'm going to call black. Okay, then I'm going to name this, let's go back to our, then this is going to be, now, so I'm going to just rearrange this, take this, okay, let's put this down, then take this down, so give this here. All right, so let's see, that's for our gray, so red. Going to delete some here because of why? Let it be that way. So for our red color, let's see. Let's just create everything from scratch. So this is my 50. This is my 100. This is 200. Okay. Um, 400. So 500 is going to be our main, and just going to stop here. So I'm going to just delete this so that there will be no confusion. So the next font we are going to set up will be we've set up red, set up gray, so yellow. I'm just going to delete this in advance. Then same thing with green from 600 to 750. Just going to delete this up. All right, so let's set that up. So for our green, yeah, so this is our yellow. So let's set our yellow up first. So we will use this with our 50, 100, 200, 300 should be interesting. 300 is our main. Then 400 will be our 300. Yeah. All right, so that's for our yellow, and then yellow and orange. Interesting. Do I really need this side for now? No. Let's just stop there. Okay, so after this, remember we have so I'm just going to go ahead and delete this and then export this again. So I'm going to export my brand, then branch, then I'm going to export it. Export. No, let me just rename it. Yeah, yellow and orange. Yes, I noticed that. I won't be using yellow for this. I just remember that I won't be using yellow for this class today. Yep. So I just needed blue, purple, orange, red, and gray. Think well, red. Do I really need? No. I think I just needed those colors. Gray. Gray especially was the color I picked. So I think I so but when setting up yours, just be sure you follow the due process. So I'm going to yes, I'm going to export. We are done exporting, right? Yes, I'm going to import it. So importing new. All right, so that has been imported, which is brand. So I'm just going to rename this. Where does this boy carry blue from? Oh, yes. Okay, so I'm just going to rename this to the area. Okay, so now when you are done duplicating, so this is what you are going to, you might feel, oh yes, you are doing almost the same thing. So, but this is the trick here. So you are going to, when you click on the code, please let's follow. This is the main deal again. So when you click on this, you are not going to change anything here, whereas you are going to go to library and then you are going to choose the color, the same color. So here we have in our brand, okay? You're going to choose it from the brand, not the alias, okay? You're going to choose it from the brand. So we are going to choose 50. If you hover on it, you're going to see 50. But the first time when you are going to open this, you are going to see it's going to be in a list like this. Okay. So it's going to be in a list like this. So but this should be easier for me to see what I'm working with. So the next one is 100. If you hover on it, you see the 100. Next one is going to be 200. Remember, you are not hiding from alias. That's going to be the first one you see. So you scroll down to, let me see. So you scroll down to where we have, where your brand starts, and then you apply. So we apply 300. I apply 400. So the reason why I'm hovering on it, waiting for it to, because need to hover on it first so that there will be no mistake. It will not delay us to achieve what we want to achieve. So the next one is going to be 600. Uh, the next one going to be 700. Okay, it's going to be 700. This 700. Oops, 600. So another way you can do this is when you come here, you now type blue. So you can just scroll down to well,
Sorry, sir. There's a mistake with the 600.
okay, 600. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So blue, not the areas, 600. Thank you. That would have cost us. Thank you. So I'm going to let me see. Okay. Let's try it. So this solves was this. I was need to scroll a bit, but at least this has filtered it. So I'm just going to call this main. Then make sure it's under brand. Okay, so let me just make this way so that it will be easier. So I'm just going to do the same thing for purple and orange. Well, that's okay. So 50 purple brand. Okay, so 100. Okay, please, if you have any concern, any question as you're going, please do well to ask, or you can drop it in the chat to 400, right? Okay. So reason why we are doing this is going to help us map out our design. Okay. So take for an example, if you were applying this, if you only had let's say a card and then you apply purple to it, if you, and then also on a card you also have a button and then you apply the same color to that particular button, and then let's say in the long run you decided to change the card's color and not the button color. If you don't do it this way, you end up changing the entire color, which will affect the entire design. Okay, so, and then you might get lost somewhere. This is going to be 850. No, 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 no. 850. Then our main. So full main. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we'll do the same thing for orange. 50. I hope it will take a time, but at the long run, you are going to enjoy using this. Okay? You're going to enjoy using this in the long run because it's going to make at the first time that's why one of your tasks were to set up a design system. So if you have this already, to be easier to create your variables from this. So still on it, we are on orange and then we are on 200. There's a mistake too somewhere. So we are on 300. Orange 300. This is purple 100. So I need orange 100. 400. Orange 400. 500. Orange 500. 600. Orange 600. 700. Orange 700. 800. 900. Oops. Okay, and then we have our name. Okay, so I think there's a question there. Okay, so what we are doing now is don't be confused, goodness. So I said, excuse me, this is the brand. For the brand, we are only having blue as the color, purple as the color, orange. So you can have, for the brand, you can have as many colors you want to. So, but when you are in alias, so here, I'll, we are going to rename this, which you are going to see what is going to. So it's not going to be the same naming convention as that of the brand. So this alias is going to be a different naming convention. So this is where I'm going to say, oh, I want my blue to be the primary. Okay. In alias and not on the brand. Your brand still carries the blue. So I want blue to be the primary, and I want orange, as we said, to be our secondary. Okay. And we want our red is actually always going to be our error. Okay. And gray is neutral color, right? Then yellow is usually our warning, and our green is usually the success. So this is where you name, okay, this is where you name what you want to use the color for, but I'm going to delete this out because we are not using it now. Yellow, or that can be there, but since our secondary color is a little bit just going to delete this group. So, but in your own case, you are just going to have everything. Um, everything is going to be. So this is what we are using for our primary color. So we are calling blue is our primary. So purple is still purple because, well, we can say we can just let's just leave that for now. Okay, let's just leave that for now. So this is our arrow and this is our neutral, where we have our white and also we have our black. Goodness, are you okay with that? You understand? So I'm going to, let's see, did I name this all? Yes. So I'm just going to skip error miss error for now. So I'm just going to start with our neutral. So I'm going to call it 50 and brand neutral. Brand. That's our neutral. So 50. Okay. That's good. So let's see if this will be easier to actually navigate. Neutral. Uh, neutral 100. Okay. So take our 100. So 200. Oops. So that doesn't affect 300. Then 500. So remember the neutral we are working with. So make sure you pick the color. You pick it and make sure it is if I pick orange, it's going to yep, it's going to disturb the long run. But actually that can also be sorted in just a click. So that's why we are trying to set this up 800. 850. So the next one is going to be white. And then we have black. All right, so we are done setting that up. Now we are going to do another one. We are going to create another collection. Please, let's follow. This is where we are going to now map all this color that we've created and then give it a name. All right, so let's take for an example. We have for our UI, we always have background, we have shapes, we have icons, we have text, and we have borders, the likes of it. So now we are going to create a new collection. All right, so I'm going to create a new collection which I'm going to call mapped. So this is going to map my alias to a particular, let's say, a particular font, a particular shape, or yes, a shape, be it an icon and the like. So please follow. This place might be a little bit confusing. So I'm just going to take three elements for this. So remember we are working with color. So when creating your variables, choose color. All right. So I'm going to call this surface. We're going to call this surface slash primary. Your naming convention can be different, but this is what we are going to call this surface. Surface means anything that has to do with background. All right. So for my background, I'm going to call this uh, primary. Then I'm going to call this secondary. So let's see if this will be faster. So for my primary, I'm going to give it a color, a neutral color. So instead of coming here to change, okay, I'm going to attach it from here. Now pay attention. When attaching your color, don't attach it from the brand. In this case, mapped, you are not attaching it from the brand, but when it comes to alias, you are attaching it from the brand. All right, please know the difference. So let me do like this. Let me sort this. I'm going to reorder this. I'm going to take brand up. Okay, so this is a better representation of this. So let's say alias to brand, then map to our alias. Please let's follow. So now I'm going to now link it to alias, and for this I'm going to use is a background. So it's a primary background. So I'm going to use neutral 50 for this. Okay, so I'm going to use neutral 50. You can choose your color as you want to. Okay, so there is no convention that, oh yes, depending on your design, depending on what you want to do. So you can choose your color. So let me see. I hope this is choosing from where I'm supposed to. So let me just do it manually for this so as to avoid. So yes, is it? Yes, it is. So you can see choosing this is now choosing it from alias, and then this is where it has selected secondary 100. This is what I choose. So this is what we have. So I'm going to name another one. I'm going to call this action. Okay. So I'm going to call this one action over. I'm going to call this action over. And I'm going to call this action over light. So the light version of hovering. Then I'm going to call this disabled. Okay. When you are doing this, has to do everything with background. So this is where I bring in button background, text background, and shape backgrounds, and the rest of the backgrounds, whatever backgrounds you'll be using for your UI. Then I'm going to call this success. Then this will be warning. This will be warning. And then this will be error. Then we are going to have okay, I think I needed So we have success. We have success. Then we have, let me get in one. So I'm going to call this page. Okay. So this will have to do with the page, any page I'm working on. So I'll just use this for the background. So take for an example, the current UI we have here, or this, yes, this is a UI. So this has a background. So looking at the background, we can see if we go to field that it has gray 100, which was all this was being in the former system. So I'm going to map this. I think we only mapped primary and secondary. So I'm going to map page. So for my page, I'm going to give it white. Okay. So remember, not from brand, not from alias. So I'm going to map it white. So for my action is going to be primary. So I'm going to map it to main. Okay, so then for hover, I like my hovering to always be a darker version of this, a darker version of it. So I'm going to call this let's see. Nope. So where are we getting from? Area, so I need it to be more dark. So I will take the 850. So for my hovering action hovering, so I'm going to take it primary 50. I'm going to use primary 50 is 100 to 50. So for disabled, I'm going to use neutral, a neutral color. So for neutral, I'm going to use a darker neutral. So I'm going to take neutral 400. It would have been too much. So let's use 300. So for my success mode, I'm going to use, remember this is background. Interesting. So you get the idea. Yeah, I just remembered I deleted those. Let's see, brand, is there success? Let's see. All right. So nope, there is no success. Yeah. So unfortunately, we are still going to see. Let's see. So we have error and one and nope, I deleted it. So we have only error. So for my error, I'm just going to pick it's a 50% of my error code. So now we are done naming surfaces. So if you want to add more surfaces and color, you can just come here and then give it a name, and then you duplicate it. You can duplicate it by right clicking. Let me remind us. There you see duplicate variables, or you can also click on your shift and enter. It's going to duplicate it for you. So the next one I'm going to create is I'm going to call it text. Okay. So what I will do is I'll just duplicate this, duplicate group, then rename it to text. So for text, we don't need page for text. So I'm going to delete this. Okay, and then we need primary for text. So for text, our primary will always be dark. So yes, we need dark for our primary. So secondary, we need secondary is going to be a much lower version of it. So secondary will be for our text color. Okay, so for our body text. So our primary can be for the header. All right, so action is going to remain primary. Yes, this is going to remain disabled, is going to remain success. Well, excuse me, we don't have success model for that. Warning error is now going to change to, remember we're talking about text, so this cannot be, we can't use 50% for our text. Why doing error? So we are going to use the main for this, and this should not be the main. Excuse me, let me switch this. Let me switch. So changing it, I'll have to change it from the brand. So if I change anything from the brand, it's going to change entirely in all these two. So you can see the need for it. So alias here, I can just call that, yes, I want yes, look at that, I want my text to pick a color from alias instead of a color from the brand. such that with that I can be able to edit, and then I can also be able to manage my my design very well. All right, so we are going to now see let's see. Okay, let's change. So we are going to change this. Where? So I said, what was that? What color was that? Blue, no? Gray, was it? No, red.
Red.
Thank you. So 300 is going to be our main. So I'm just going to copy this out and keep somewhere. Okay, no, let me not do it this way. So let me just duplicate this and keep it. Oh, so let me just get copy this, paste it here. Going to change this to main. Then I'm going to take this, yep, 300. Then I'm going to delete. I'm going to delete this. Right. But this looks, let me see something. This looks lighter than this. So let's switch it. Let's see. So if the color code was just outside, I'll just pick it up and then run this out. So, but now just have to edit this manually. So that will solve the problem. So let's see if that has solved our problem. So if we go back to mapped, so you are going to see, this is interesting. Let me see. Still taking up the main. Did that not change? Okay, I'll need to change this too. Error. Where did I map it? Oh. Interesting. I see what is going on. So I didn't map this, so there was no how that was going to change. Well. So let's just do this manually then. I didn't call it. Okay, so this now I'm going to do this, right? Yes. Okay, so all the minutes, let me solve this because this is going to stop us in the long run. So I'm just going to change this. Yeah, 300. Oh, so it's the 400 I was supposed to bring up, not that. Okay, so mapped, nope. Nothing consign us, consign map. So I was going to change that. So man, I think that solves our problem. So let's go to map, and my bad. Let's map this. Let's map this. Let's just to avoid all this. So our main, we are taking it from the brand, remember? So let's see. From the brand. So this is it. This is 500. Right? So this is 400, 600, 700. Nope, sorry, that's 200. My bad. 200. Oh boy, this 300. Pick the wrong one. This is going to be 100. Right, from the brand. Be sure it's from the brand you are picking it. 50. From the brand to, so we are going to see 50 right from the brand. Okay, so let's go back to mapped. So we can see that it have changed. So, but let's be sure that it is from the brand, sorry, from the alias we pick this and not from the brand. All right. So it has adjusted himself. So it's seen Here is alias, and then it is error main. Okay, so having done that, the next one we'll be looking for the text, I think we'll need one more thing. So we will need on action here. Let me duplicate this. We will need on action text. We'll need on action. I like putting this, I don't like gap, you know. Oh, this I kept space. Interesting. So on action, so we are going to take on action to be a natural white. Okay, so we are going to take it to be a white. Okay, then what else? On disabled. Okay, we need this. We need on disabled. We need on disabled. So on disabled, we are going to pick what do we need for this? We need a neutral, something deeper. Let's say 500 will be better for this. All right. So I think that's all we need. We don't need action overlight. I don't think we need this. We don't need this. All right. So this is so our success, warning, and error will always remain the same. It's text we are talking about. So now we are going to now duplicate this for another this I'll call this icon. So icon and text most times are always the same color. So this will maintain itself. All right. So I'm going to duplicate this again, and then we are going to have the last one for. So I'm just going to call this border. Right? So these are basically most of the UI elements we use when designing. So surface, text, icons, and then border. All right, so I'm going to change this. Our primary for the border is going to change to neutral 50, right? So secondary, we are going to move it to neutral 100. Action is going to remain. We don't need on action. Right? We don't need this. So instead of this, we don't need an action, do we? Is there an action for a border? Do we need an action for a border? I don't think we do need that on action for border, so we just delete that, or we can just change this to tertiary. Okay, so we can just change this to tertiary. Yes, let's change this to tertiary. No, action. So let's change it to tertiary. So for our tertiary, okay, this is, let's see. I think I just messed up there, so should have just edited the other way. So tertiary, we are going to use neutral 200. We're going to use neutral 200. Right? No, this one. Then for action, well, let's take it to our main. Oh, we are using blue, sorry. Main. Right, so action over, do we need an action over for this? I don't think so, we don't. Or do we? No, we don't. Well, we can keep it. Yes, I think we need it. So we can allow it to be that way. Disabled, we need disabled. So disabled can still be neutral, 300. On disabled, no, we don't need this. We can on disabled, no bother. So we'll change this to either focus. For focus, we are going to use a primary for this. So I'm going to call this, remember I'm picking it from alias. So I'm going to take this to be primary 500, right? Yep. The age is primary 500. So success is going to remain the same, warning, blah, blah, blah. And the rest of it is actually going to remain the same. Any question? Let me pause there and then see if we have any question before we proceed. If you have any question, you can just unmute and then talk. Any question? So I'll take that as a no. So now that we are done setting up this, so we are going to now see how to apply this to a UI. All right. So we are going to see how to apply this to a UI. So I'm just going to close this up and then I'm going to create a new, because of time, I would have loved to do a little design here. But let me see if I can fetch a design, a simple design. Simple design. Let's see. Let me pick something from here. These are old files, so just going to pick this up. Let me just pick up this onboarding. Okay, let me pick up this onboarding and then let's use it here. Okay, so now we are going to apply our variables that we've created to this. Let's see. Okay. So right. So this is a design I did years ago. I think during KodeCamp design challenge. Okay, so let's see. So I'm going to pick up so for text, this is our text. So let's pick it up one by one. So for our text, this is going to be our text body. Then we need this is not supposed to be that. So now we can see that I'm seeing I'm seeing everything here. Whereas it will confuse you as because this is a duplicate of almost all the things we've done. So it's going to confuse you while trying to set this up. So one of the things you do is you go back to variables, and then what we are looking for or what we are going to use is the mapped part of it. This is what we need for our UI, any UI you are doing. So that's why we have surface text, icon, border, everything here. So we are going to off this. This is just going to be visible to us. All right. So we are going to click and highlight. Oh my, sorry. Going to highlight all, right click and edit variables. So when you edit variables, so you have here show in all supported properties, field, frame, shape, text, strokes, effects. Well, we don't need it. We don't need it to show. So we are going to off that. And then we do the same thing for brand. Okay. So we do the same thing for brand and then this and then off it. All right. So if we now go back to our design system, if we want to now apply the color, so we can now see that we're only having surface, we're having text, we're having icon, and then we're having border. So I can either choose to make it this way. All right. So for surface, we have for the page, primary, secondary, and the likes of it. So I am going to choose for this, I'm going to go towards my text side. Let's see, text. All right, so I'm going to choose something light because your skip button shouldn't be that visible. So I think I need something for this on action. Well, no, that's too. Anyways, so we'll use secondary for that. Let's use secondary for that. Or yes, let's use secondary for that. I think I would have gotten another I won't want to use on disabled, but this is the better option for it. Let's use it though, because I don't think I'll be doing anything that will affect that for now. So this is our header. So we are going to go ahead and choose, still on the text, we are going to choose the primary, and then for our body, still on text, we are going to choose our secondary. So your body text and your secondary text should not always be the same. And well, this would have been, so I'm going to just select this, going to select this, sorry, yeah. Then I'm going to attach the field to it. So text and then primary, and then I'm going to all right, okay, so yes, let's proceed. So I'm just going to select these two and then attach. So I can just name secondary. So secondary text is going to come down. So let's bring it down. So this, yes, we attach the primary. All right, so I'm just going to, for consistency's sake, I'm just going to take this out, and then I need it for visibility. So I'm just going to drop this here and then make this a component. All right, so I'm just going to call this float. No, arrow. Let me just name it arrow. So I'm just going to drop this here, drop this here, the same thing. Then right click, place, paste to replace, and that will replace the same both of them. So now why I'm doing this is because I can just attach the, instead of doing it in those places, instead of doing it in these two buttons. Okay, so I can just do what I want to do here, and it will to take place in. So I'll need primary for this. So this is a background. All right. So this is a background. So this is basically a button. So this is the background. So I'm not going to go and choose from my text. I'm going to choose from my surface, and then I'm going to choose action. All right. So I'm going to choose action. We are using the blue as, so this other one is also, this is an icon. So I'm going to choose an icon. I'm going to go to an icon section, and then I'm going to choose on action for it. It's an action, so I'm just going to choose on action for it. All right. So any question? So this you can see as applied here too. So I don't really need to suffer myself with that. So the next thing I'm going to do is, did I apply it here? Did I apply it here? No. So what was it? Secondary text, remember? Oh no. I think we used on, so the text, and then we use on disabled. Okay, just for the purpose of this. So I'm just going to copy this out again. Then try to, so I'm going to call this nav. Just going to call it a very short. So I'm going to call it nav. Then I'm going to make it a component. Then making it a component, I need a variant of this. So I'm going to create a variant of this. Why that? I'll just have to switch this to this side, and then also create a variant, and then switch this to the side. I'm just going to, well, this can just be default step 1, step 2, because anyways, let's just rename it. Just call this 1, call this 2, and call this 3. So I copy any of them, So I copy any of them, paste to replace, change this to 1. Change it to 2, and then this will remain 3. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to now select here and then attach those variables to it. So this will not be a text and action. This is going to be is a background. So it's going to be surface and action. Okay. And this is all of this here is a background. Nothing here is a text. So I'm going to also choose from here. So I'm going to take a secondary for this. And does that to clear? Well, yes, I can take a secondary for that. I think that's basically all we need. Yes. So why I had to make that so that automatically it's going to update in everything here. So now we are done with that. Any question? Okay. We have a screen here. We have a screen here which I need to apply. Did I apply this to be? Yes, I did. Okay, so I need to apply the same thing for my button. My bad. So I need to apply the same thing for my button. Okay, so I need to apply the same thing for my button. Let me just duplicate it here. Take it down. When designing, please make sure you use auto layout. Just going to search an icon here just for arrow. Just need nope, I don't need it. I need it in all. I need it in all variables, search. I just need an arrow. Yes, this is better. So I'm just going to drop this here. Then reduce the size to 20 because oh 60. Wow. 4 for 6. So this is going to be 12. Oh, this will affect. So this is going to be 60. This is going to be 40. All right, so we bring this here. Nope. So let's just take this out. Let me make this. Oh, so let me take it out, make it a component of its own, because that was an instance of a component in another library. So I can't really work with that. Yeah, so I'm just going to make it. So I'm going to call it an icon. So it's an icon. So I'm just going to towards the icon section. And then I'm going to call it an action icon. All right. So the text, I'm going to change my text from the color that it is now to text. So this is going to carry on action, right? So this is supposed to carry a primary. Let me see. So this is going to carry on action. It's an action text. So this is going to carry on action. Then we'll change this. This is a surface. So we'll change it to primary. So I'm just going to make a component of it, copy it, and then copy to replace. Or paste to replace. Okay, so we are almost there. So I'm just going to take this out. Remember, we have a surface. So I'm just going to click on my field and then choose a surface page. So this is for my screen. So this is what we decided to use. So let me change this to a little bit white. So I'm not going to go to anywhere. Anything I want to change, I don't come here. So I'm just going to change it here. No, let me not disturb it. So I'm just going to change it in alias. So okay, now let's change it in map. We've mapped it to a color, so we need to remap it. That means my color code here is not white for my page. and then I'm naming it white. So it is from me. So we need to go back to where the source is from. And it is gray. And I will see it's not white. So that's why you're having that color there. I don't like using majorly white, so I'm just going to give it a little. Okay, so let's see. That should change. Well, still not enough. Oh. Was it 50? No, it was not. It was the main. It was the main white. That was that was from me. It was the main white. Okay, so as you can see, that have changed too. So the other color was too wasn't visually impaired. So now we are done applying it. So let's see if all our, apart from this, I think this is the only ones that don't have. So instead of using this, I am just going to quickly, so as not, I'm just going to put this in a frame. I'm just going to put this in a frame. Okay. So you'll see the reason why I'm doing this. I don't want to stress my life. So I'm just going to bring up a plugin called where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I need an image for this on Splash. So reason is I just want an image here. This is going to affect most of our design decision because we don't have that time to be applying color to this. So I need an architectural view. So I just take, let's say traveling. Let's say traveling. Let's get a better. Does this do? Okay, so I just going to remove. Let's go to our file. So let's just delete this out. So the way we'll manage it like that. Nope, not one after another. So I just thought I put this in a frame selection. Delete this out. Put this in a frame selection, then delete this out. So let's see. I'm just going to pick this up, click out. Then I'm going to add one here. My bad. In this data. Okay. So we have this. Any question? Any question? Please, let's ask the question before I proceed. So let's see what we're going to have today. I'm just going to switch my tab to let's see. So we said we're going to learn how to manage design variables easily, which we have done. How to switch teams, how to switch between teams using variables. Okay, so let's see. We see our primary color to be blue, right? So now let's say a client reach out to us and say, oh yes, I love this your design and I want the same thing for my design. So what do we do? So he wants exactly the same thing. So we have applied. So let's see, let's confirm that. Let's confirm that. So we have applied. I think the only thing that might have an issue here is this. Let's see. So let me just apply this to an icon. So let me just take. Okay, no, this is a text. This is a text. So just to be on the safer side, so I'm just going to make this a text. Let's give it enter. Okay, so just a text and primary text and a primary, no secondary. Let's make it secondary text. And this part is an icon. Okay, so let's just do this one faster. Okay, so I'm just going to change this to component status bar. Then let's see. So we have this. So this is our icon. We are going to call it icon primary. So we've seen all of them, we've made it. So we are going to just select all, select matching layers. You know how to select your matching layers? Just click on a single one, then come up here to where we have this, and then you see select your matching layers. And just probably Control Alternate A will do that for you. So I'm going to paste to replace. I copied it, so I'm just going to paste to replace. So that will take care of everything. So let's confirm once again. Where is this one from? This white one is from where? So we have something that wants to I don't know what its problem is. So and let's see where that is from. Oh, okay. Okay, so we've gotten it. Couldn't escape us. So this is an indicator. So I'm just going to change this to primary action. It's a surface, and then it's also a surface, a background. So I'm still going to use a background. I'm going to use a primary for it. This is interesting. Okay, so I'm going to replace that with the same thing. Control Alternate A. Let me remove this out, and then I'm going to Control Alternate Control Shift R, right, to replace. Oh, that didn't copy them. Let me copy it. So let's see, confirm once again. Think everything is okay. So now let's say a client meets you and then says, oh yes, I want to change the color. So what do you do in this case? Is this blue really necessary? Yeah. Let's change this to not a primary. So let's change this to primary. The surface, let's use the surface. We don't have that yet. Let's just use our primary because of time. Okay, so let's then we say, so a client meets you, so we go back to our variables, and then in your alias, we are now going to create a new team here. So I'm going to call this blue team. Okay. Then I'm going to call this the next one is we need purple team for this. Okay, so because I'm just going to map our main so that you see how that works. I'm just going to map our main. So I'm just going to come here, change main. From brand here, I'm just going to switch down to purple. Okay. Just that. Let me just change that. I have percent now. Why am I changing this? Okay. Then think yes, that's where we need it. And then if we close this and then come and select all this, then we come to appearance. If we come to here, you can switch it over to purple theme. Okay, you can see you can switch it over to blue theme, and also you can switch it over to purple theme. And you can now see that all the items we used has also switched to purple theme. So wherever you used it, if you're using it in a bigger design system, or you had a lot of UIs that you had, all of them is also going to switch. Okay. Now let's see if we can achieve this other part. So another thing we are going to look at is how to switch from, let's see, how to switch from light mode to dark mode. Okay, how do we switch from light mode to dark mode? To achieve this, we are going to use the mapped part of the variables. So for our team, we're using this because this is where we mapped all our color. So that's why we are using this part. Okay. So in this part, we are going to use map section. Okay. Here we are now going to create a new mode. We are going to create a new mode, and then yes. So our face mode, let's adjust this, and then let me increase this too. So we can have this. So in our new this, we are going to call it light. Okay. Let me rename it well. We're going to call it light, and then we are going to call our mode 2 dark mode. So let's just put it on. Okay, we're going to call this light mode, and then we're going to call this dark mode. All right, so yeah, where we have our surface white, which is our background, definitely we want it to be dark color. So we are going to switch over to we are going to go to surface. I hope, yes. No, we are going to map it to our brand. Remember, okay, map. We are going to use alias. So we look for alias. Let's switch this for easier. So this is brand. So we are going to look for alias, and then we look for our neutral. So we are going to map it to something that is not that deep. Okay, so we are going to map it to neutral 700. So then I'm just going to change what we need. Then that's for our surface, right? Our primary can still remain, and this, so let's change this to something still on our map. Sorry, still on our this thing. We are going to change this to, let's say, yep, 400. So this is for dark mode, remember? Okay, so let's switch over to text. Okay, so we are going to switch to text. So for my text, well, for my primary text in dark mode, I wouldn't want this. It is white that's going to be there. So I'm just going to switch over to white. And then for this, it's going to be something close to off-white. So I'm going to use 50 for this. And then the rest can remain. So if we now select this and then come over to appearance, just going to add here, and then if we come down to map, you are going to see light mode and dark mode. So if I select dark mode, well, you can see it has changed to dark mode, but well, because of the color I used, so that's going to be, so I'm just going to I'm going to use the main black for this. Okay, so we go back to our map, right? So dark mode under our surface. So I'm just going to use a better black for this. This is not black enough for our dark mode. Well, we can manage this. So you can see our text instantly switched to white because that was being linked to. So if I said, oh yes, the purple, well, our choice of purple here was, our primary purple here was bad. So we are just going to switch to blue team so as to make it come out better. So let's say, let's preview this better. So if we preview this, so let me choose comment. Let me just delete this, close this out. Prototype. What did we use? I'm not prototyping anything. Just get out first. Let's see. Our prototype. I just want to preview this. Let's click out. So let's choose a device. What device did we use? That's 390. 390 is usually 1314, right? Yep, 1314. So we are going to choose, click prototype, choose a device so as to present it well, 1314. So we can choose 14, 390. 390. So let's preview it better. Okay, so I can just switch from here. I say I want the purple team, just going to switch. I want it in a light mode. It's also going to switch. All right, so we have learned how to use this for let's see. Let's go back to our slide. So we have seen how to manage our design system variables easily and how to switch between teams. We can see when we switch between blue and purple, and also how to implement light and dark mode, which we have done. So we have not done how to make your design fully responsive. This I'll give you as an assignment. So go and research on how to use your variables to make your design responsive. So in our next class, we are going to look at how, okay, what we did, like what you recovered and then where you made the mistake. And then we are going to now see, we have really drawn most on this topic. I wouldn't want us to do variables again, except being led to. All right. So we have come to the end of today's class. So ask your question. Do we have any question from the house? Was there anything confusing? Did I rush over it? Or if you're paying attention, I think I took my time to explain it the best I could. But if you had any challenge, well, you did not understand, let's see, you can ask your question now. You can raise your hand and then ask your question. If not, I want to believe we all understood. In that vein, I'm going to call some few persons and then ask them if they understood it. Well, don't be afraid. I'm not going to ask you to tell me the flow of how to go about it. Vera.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good evening. So was that clear enough?
To be sincere, it was much, I'll not lie. So, I understood some parts, but some parts were like too much. So I'll thank God it's recorded. I'll go back and probably while watching it, I'll be practicing it. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll understand better.
You will. While practicing, you understand it. Okay, at least you understood to some point. All right. At GBK, I think you came in a little bit late, right? But did the little you came to meet, did you understand? Alright. JBK, can you hear me? Let me see. I think you dropped a chat. Let me see. Okay, Mr. Yemi. Okay, sorry about that. Well, network has not been our friend. Yeah, no problem. All right, Mr. Yemi, go ahead. What's your question?
Hello, sir. Sorry,
Yeah, good evening.
I hope you can hear. Or maybe I should just type.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, I couldn't catch too much. It was on and off. But the first 1 hour, 30 minutes was I don't know, it was tasking because it was like we were doing mathematics, but no problem.
Yeah.
The question that I have now is that why, you did brand, you did alliance, you did math. Why can't we use their colors for themselves? Why do we have to duplicate a brand and then map, or let me say, put a brand in Alliance? Then why do you have to now do map and put Alliance inside map? Like, why can't they just have their own colors?
Okay. Let me answer that. Is anybody in the house that can attempt that question? I think I explained why. I said the reason. Is there anybody? Vera, can you
Uh,
try?
um, I think maybe for the map, for example, like I don't know how to explain this thing. The thing is in my head, but I can't explain. Like for the map, for example, it has to really I can't express myself. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for trying. Is there anybody that can express herself on this herself? Or
Sorry,
okay.
sir. I want to try.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so I think the brand is about the color per se. Then the alias, you can then change it to primary, warning, success. That is what you want to use it for. Then you can then map each, then the map, then you can then map to alias. But you want the brand, the colors to stay the colors. So then the alias will now be the primary and then the map then. Because if you map to brand, you might not be able to say you want it to be primary, you don't want it to be so because I don't think you can give it two naming at the same time. I'm not sure. I hope I'm correct.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So let me just say this. Let me put this way. So take an example. Let's look at the variables again. So I'm just going to, if you look at my let me see, I just saw a message. Yes. Yes, it's for differentiation. I think that's the better way to put it. Because take for an example, in my map, I have surface, and in my surface, I want to change only, let's say while designing, I don't want to touch my button. Okay. I don't want to touch my button. But I have a button that has a primary, and I have a text that has a primary. So I don't want, let's do it this way. Let's see. I'm just going to bring this down. Let me just remove it entirely. Let this be by our right hand side. This is going to help us look at it better, in a better view. So let's say I remember I have a text here. So my text, I'm not going to, if let's say I only had one place to map my brand color to, it would have affected me. So here, I'm going to take it on an action. So the action here, this is it for text. So I'm just going to choose this. So let's just use this. The contrast is not good enough. So I'm using this for an example. So then all of the sudden I'm like, oh no, 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 no. That's for my text. For my text, I don't want this. So what I will do is to come to my variables and then go to where I have a text and then change my text. Remember, it's in a light mode, so I can still change for my dark mode also. I can change my text and say, oh, no, 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 I want it much deeper. So if I switch it here, you can see it's going to switch on my text and it will not affect my button. It does not affect my button. Whereas if it were to be just here, let's say it was going to be here, I wouldn't have had that liberty of listing it as per, oh yes, I want it to be for button, I want it to be. I'm calling the variable in alias to that of a map, that I'm mapping it back to a text, or I'm mapping it to a button. So that is one advantage of doing it that way. So most people, when doing it, they don't like using alias. Okay, so they just map it directly to brand color. But in the same way we have a standard way of doing your style guide and the rest of it. Like if you want to manage your design system very well, remember I was saying we are going to learn how to manage our system very well, our variables very well, which this is a method you use. And then see, when you practice with it, you are going to get more insight on it. All right. I hope that answered your question, Mr. Yeri. All right, perfectly. Thank you. All right, Zinab, go ahead.
Okay, sir. Now that we have created variables for this file, so what if I want to use this variable in another file entirely? Will it move? How will I move it from one file to another?
Okay, it is easy. As I said in last class, Figma, before now, we couldn't move it from a Figma to another file, like from a project to a project or from a file to a file, except we use a plugin. So you can use a plugin. I'm going to show you also, you can use a plugin. Let me just remove this. So you can use a plugin. The plugin is called Variable Pro. There are other plugins. This is actually on trial. So you can see I've used 9 out of 10. Okay, well, I can't use it again because I can only use it one time, maybe to export. So if you want to export, you can just come here. It's going to bring out automatically um all the variables you've created. So with this, you don't have to go and do another work in another file. All right. So you can just, it will now click, then you now export. Then still on the next file, you now use import and then upload that file. When you export it, this is how it's going to be. It's going to now bring up something like this, which you are going to name it. So you have new, so I've exported it 3 times and also imported it 3 times or over 3 times. So. Okay, yeah. So that's how to export it and then use it. All right. So you can also swap. Yeah. This we don't really care about this at the point. So I hope that answers. And another way you can do it, well, once you copy, let's say you had a page that you called your design system. Okay, so that's why I always like people. I always tell you have a page where you just have, let's say, your design system here. So if let's say you applied it to all right, sorry guys about that. Now I was saying if you I didn't know I was muted. Now if you move it to another file, if you had linked all those color typography and the rest, if you move it to another file, it will automatically ask you to copy variable. So let me see if I can see if something that I did before. Okay. We've applied this. So let's go back to our design. So just in case, so you can use, one way you can do it is you can use the plugin, and another way is you can just, let's assume this is our file that we have our design system on. So I'm just going to open up a new file. So just going to open up a new file called design. And then I'm going to paste this here. So in the process of pasting it, let's give it a moment. Paste. So Figma will ask you, pasted with unpublished variables, copy variables into this file. Well. I waited a longer time for that. So I'm just going to delete this and then paste it again. Let me see. Will it still ask me? Nope. Okay, yes. So copy. So I'm just going to copy it. So it said created 9 variables. So if I should check my variables tab, I'm going to see that I've created those variables that I've used here. So if you had used it on a particular, let's say on a design system, and then you just copied your design system to this file. Remember when I said create your own design system, it's going to help you. You just copy it, everything, and then use variables. Because if you use style, you are going to now start, creating new style all the way. It's just that you have the templates to use. So that's one advantage that you have using variables. All right, I hope that answers your questions, Dina.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, I that think that's all right. Okay, so thank you very much. So your task is go and use go and learn how to make it responsive. All right, how to use variables in making it responsive. Make research. Maybe if we come, maybe if when we come in our next class, I'm going to. Anyways, I might take up the topic again. I might take up that particular making it mobile responsive. But in your own time, go make research on how to make it responsive, so that in our next class when we come, and then we now look at it. We're not going to start from scratch because you already have this color. I'm just going to update the system, but I'm not going to touch the typography part. Okay, then when we come in the next class, we now look at the typography part and then how to make it mobile responsive. So I will see us on Wednesday. I know I hope something doesn't come up again this Wednesday. Even today, something came up where I was like, no. Let me not. I'm supposed to go to Lagos, but I couldn't. I'm not sure I would have made it. So thank you very much for at least turning up. Okay. And we'll see you in our next class. Good night and God bless you.